Hello, World Lit class. I am here, Dr. Kramer here, to give you a little bit of instruction on the annotated bibliography that is due on Wednesday of week 12, which is next week, and just a little bit of instruction on how to structure it and some formatting things. I'm going to start with the formatting things first. So this past week, you turned in an annotation or citations 7 through 9 for your annotated bibliography. And so I've been giving you feedback on some of that and the formatting. And so what you want to do first is you want to open up a document and you want to put your nice MLA header on here like I have. Give it a title. And you'll see I just have annotated bibliography for adaptation project Orpheus and Eurydice. And then I just copied and pasted a bunch of my citations, just like that. Okay. Now that I've got them in there, the first thing I need to do is to use a hanging indent because you can see that this is all kind of mixed together and hard to read. So to do that, if I'm in Word, I can do this in Google Docs as well, is I'm going to highlight all of my citations and I'm going to go to paragraph. Now you might have paragraph along the top row here. I'm not sure if you can see it on my screen because of how it cuts off, but now maybe you can. Format paragraph. Again, you might have a little paragraph down here with a teeny little box with an arrow in it, and that's what you would pick. If I go to indents and spacing, you'll see that here I have special. I can choose hanging. And if I hit OK, you can see that now everything has a hanging indent. Isn't that nice and neat? Now, the next thing I need to do is I need to alphabetize these. They are not alphabetized. Now, I can copy and paste this manually, or another thing I can do, which again, you can't see the top row, but if I wanted a table and I go to sort, I'm going to sort by paragraphs and I'm going to sort ascending by text, not by number or date. And if I do this, Word has just now alphabetized my works cited. Isn't that nice? Now it's all nice and clean. Okay, the other thing is that if I do it like this, then when it goes onto Canvas, Canvas will freeze the formatting so that you don't get weird stuff that happens, like sometimes when you hit enter 15 times and try to get to the works cited and it messes it up. It's because Canvas reads a different number of lines per page and a different number of spaces per line than your computer at home. And so if I want a certain formatting, a lot of times I have to tell the computer to do it for me. All right, most of you know this, but just so to be perfectly clear, you will go on to additional pages. And so if I click somewhere in this second page and I insert a page number, I want it at the top right of the page. I personally do not like page numbers on the first page. My hair is not going to catch on fire if you have one, but I always like to unclick that. I put OK. And if I click up here in the line, I can type in my last name or my fake student's last name. And in this case, I need to make sure that this is right aligned, like my number. Okay? Now, those are the these citations, but you need to add annotations. Oh, one more thing. Sorry, this is kind of disorganized. I want to remove these hyperlinks. I can right click on them, go to hyperlink, and just remove the hyperlink. Sorry, real life. My phone is ringing. Okay, guys, sorry about that slight family issue. Anyway, here we go. So we're removing the hyperlink from all of these kind of automatic underlines. Again, this is not like something that's going to make me freak out, but it just makes it look nicer, I feel like. While I'm on this one, I just want to point out to you guys, I looked at this opera version of Orpheus and Eurydice on a database that we have through the Collin Library, and they have lots of theater performances, opera. They have a whole Shakespeare collection that I'll point out to you when we do Hamlet in a few weeks. There's also, I got this one off of Art Store, this engraving off of Art Store, which is another database that you have access to as a Collin student. So just use all those good sources for yourself as you're going about putting together this annotated bibliography. Okay, so I have 5 original sources, if you will, or 1 original source and 4 adaptations, and then I have 4 scholarly works listed here. Okay, one last thing I wanted to do is show you that I've done annotations for 2 of these. So I'm going to copy and paste this. I did one for a primary source or a kind of adaptation, and then one for a scholarly article. So this first one I did for my literary adaptation here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the annotation just right underneath the citation. And I'm going to make sure that I do not paragraph for here in terms of, I don't do an indent. The reason is otherwise it may like kind of just blend in with my citation and that makes it hard to read. Okay, so that's what I do there. You'll see I've done 6 to 8 sentences and I've described what goes on in this adaptation, like the basic plot. And then I talk about some ways that it's different from the original, from Metamorphoses in my case. And then at the very end, if it's one of those adaptation sources or if it's your original work, go ahead and tell me what you're using this source for. So this work will serve as my literary adaptation source. Okay. I have one more annotation that I've done. This is for a scholarly article. Let me copy and paste this into the right spot. Actually, let me cut and paste it into the right spot. So this goes with this. And this is an article I found on JSTOR, which is a great source for kind of humanities type stuff. In the scholarly article, whoops, hold on. Okay. In this annotation for the scholarly article, I go through Lehrer, the author's main arguments. And then at the very end, I put how I will use it. I will use this source to explain some of the differences between this medieval English adaptation and Ovid's Metamorphosis and explain why Sir Orfeo places emphasis on Orfeo's dual roles as ruler and musician. So when I'm creating my final project for week 16, I'm going to be using my scholarly sources in certain ways. And so I'm explaining how I'm going to use this one, I think, when I make my PowerPoint. Okay, again, this might change, but for right now, what do you think you're using that source for? I will put a copy of this annotated bibliography online for you guys to look at. I'll probably put it under the major assignments module at the top of the Canvas modules page. I'll have to be honest, I'm in the midst of grading a lot of papers for my 1301 classes, so I'm not sure if I'll actually do all the annotations, but you would need to do all the annotations. So I might just reiterate the instructions here under the first one. Again, you're going to alphabetize, you're going to use a hanging indent, you're going to do the 6 to 8 sentence annotation beneath the citation, going to put page numbers on, all that good stuff. That is all that is due on Wednesday of week 12. All right, guys, take care and have a good weekend.